So, you've decided to learn full PLL. Well, you've come to the right place. I will show you the best finger tricks and algs and some alternate algorithms that you might like. Before we get into the PLL algs, let's talk a bit about what PLL is. Basically, PLL stands for permutation of the last layer and is the last step of the CFOP method. This group consists of 21 algs which vary in difficulty and length. The 21 algs are distributed in 3 groups: adjacent corner swap, diagonal corner swap, and solved corners. The diag corner swap is considered to be the worst of the 3 because it has the longest algs and is not as easy as the other 2. Anyway, enough with the yapping, you got the point. Let's start with the adjacent corner swap group. You can recognize this group by the 2 headlights that you can see on one of the sides, and generally all the algs require you to keep the headlights on the left side with the GC perm, and both of the A perms being the exception, but we'll discuss that later. Now let's start with the execution. Okay, so for the first alg from this group we have the T perm. You can recognize it by the 2 2x1 bars that are connected to the headlights and this pattern of color, opposite color and color. Now the alg goes like this, and make sure you use these finger tricks. So for the first U, you can either push with your left index finger or pinch with your right index finger. Continue. And make sure at the last 2 U primes you use your left index and the middle finger because it prevents overwork. Next we have the J perm. You can recognize it by the 2 huge mirrored L block on the left and back side and the 2 bars in the front right and the right back. The alg I think is one of the easiest and maybe the fastest one, and it goes like this. And for the finger tricks, do the F prime with your left index, normal sexy. R prime, flick the F with your right index finger, and make sure you do the last U prime with your index and middle in sequence. Now faster. Now for the L perm, also known as the JA perm, you can recognize it by the L block on the left and front side and the 2 smaller blocks on the front right and back left. Now for the finger tricks, it's very important to do them like I show it to you. There are 2 ways of doing it. So first I'll show you the faster way, in my opinion that's a bit riskier, and then the second way. So for the first way, do the X rotation as a rolling fat L2, flick the U with your right index, another fat L, and the F do it with your right thumb and finish. Now for the second way, do the X rotation normally. Here do the F with your right index, then the F prime with your left index and finish. And faster. Next is the F perm. You can recognize it by the big 3x1 bar that's on one of the sides and that you hold on the left side. So like this. I will show you 2 algs, the standard one and the faster one. I use the standard one because it suits me better and I already tried both of them, and I suggest you do the same. So the standard alg goes like this. Regrip with your thumb on top, do the first F prime with your right thumb, and at the end make sure you use your left index and then middle for the 2 U primes. And for the 2 U's right here, make sure you pinch for the first one and flick with your right middle for the last one. Like this. Now for the second alg, start from home grip. And the only thing you should know is that for the last S you should use your middle finger. And this is faster execution. So for the GA perm, you can recognize it by the 2 headlights and the bar in the front right. The alg goes like this. From home grip, you roll the R2, then you push the U with your left index, and here while you do the U prime and D, regrip at the same time with your thumb on top and finish. And make sure you push the D prime with your left ring finger like this. Faster. So for the GB perm, is pretty easy to recognize. You hold the headlights on the left and the bar will be on the right back. For the execution and finger tricks, you start from home grip, you do the U and D prime at the same time, roll the R2 and push the U with your left index finger and continue. Now faster. So, the GC perm is one of the 3 PLLs that don't require you to hold the headlights on the left. Instead, you have to put them on the right, with the block being in front left. For the execution, you only have to put your thumb on top, and the rest of it is pretty straightforward. So for the GD perm, you hold the headlights on the left and the bar in the right front this time. For the execution, I feel like the best way of finger tricking it is regripping with the thumb on the bottom. After doing the R2, roll the next R, drag the last U and finish with pushing the D prime. The array perm. You can recognize it by the 2x1 block in front that's connected to the headlights. Also, you can recognize it when you have the headlights on the right by this repeating pattern of blue, orange, blue, orange, blue. And for the execution, you have to hold the headlights on the left, and I suggest you start from home grip. I see a lot of people that regrip down at the start of this alg, but I feel like it is unnecessary and it's a waste of time. So start from home grip and do this. And here, let go of the cube and regrip with the thumb on top and finish. Now faster. Okay, so now for the RB perm, you can recognize it in the same way as the RA perm but reversed. So now the block is in the back and you have this pattern in front. For the execution, you start with your thumb on top and everything is pretty straightforward until the very end where you do the F prime with your right thumb and then use the left hand for the first U2 and then the right hand for the next U2 and finish. Okay, so now for the AA perm, you can recognize it by the 2 headlights and the big 2x2 block that's in the front right. Also, it's the second alg that doesn't require you to hold the headlights on the left, and I will show you 2 algs with both of them being extremely good. So yeah, for the first one, you keep the headlights on the right and the block in the back and regrip with your thumb on top. Now faster. Now for the second alg, you put the headlights in the back and the block on the front left side and do the alg. Again faster. The AB perm will be the last alg of the adjacent corner swap group and you can recognize it by the 2 headlights on the left and the back right 2x2 block. This PLL also has 2 very good algorithms. For the first one, you keep the headlights on the right and the 2x2 block in the front left and rotate down. Now faster. For the second alg, you put the headlights in front with the block in the back and then rotate up. For both of the A perms, I would suggest to learn all the algs I showed to you because it will save you time in some scenarios. Now for the second group of PLLs is the diagonal corner swap group and it consists of just 5 algs. Like I said in the beginning, this group is so as the hardest because it has the longest and worst algs. For example, the V perm and the NA perm, which is the longest alg consisting of 22 turns. Now, this group isn't impossible to learn, but it will require your total concentration. Okay, that's not actually true, these are pretty easy. The Y perm is one of the first algs that you should learn and I will show you 2 algs for it. You can recognize it by the 2 bars in the front and on the right with the corner in the middle of them having opposite color than the bars. The first alg is the standard alg and you start from home grip, doing a pinch F with your right index, then use your left index and middle finger for the 2 U primes. And for the last F prime, you can either use the left index finger or the right thumb. Now faster. For the second alg, it saves you one move and this is how you do it. Start from home grip, pinch the first F move, then for the next one, use your right middle finger. For the next U primes, use your left index, then middle. After that, pinch the F prime with your left index and at the end use your time for the last F prime. Now faster. For the V perm, you can recognize it by the 2x2 block that is delimited by two opposite colored corners. Hold the block on your left and front side and regrip with your thumb on top. Here you should regrip, do the U and D prime at the same time and finish. Now faster. The E-perm is maybe the hardest to recognize because it has no blocks or bars. I will show you two algs and both of them are very popular, but I think the first one is better because it's used, or it was used, by Timon. So yeah, the way you hold it for the execution is with the two corners that have opposite color to the edge facing you outwards, like this. So you have red in front and orange on the sides right here. Regrip with your thumb on top and do this. For the second alg, you hold it the same way, but regripping with your yellow side facing you. The NA perm is the longest alg, but it's not that hard because you have a 4 move setup into a J perm and then undoing the setup moves. For recognition, you have the 4 bars on the right of each side. For the execution, start from home grip, and for the two used at the start, use your right index, then middle finger. For continuation, do the same finger tricks as for the J perm and cancel into undoing the setup moves. The MB perm is considered the hardest alg, but I found one that is not that hard and it is used by E-Hang. I actually stole it from Cubehead. For execution, start from home grip, push the first U with your left index, then for the F prime use the same finger, use your middle for the next U prime, and then at the end do this. Now for the last group, we have the solved corners group, the shortest of the three and the one that has the easiest PLL to recognize. So let's just start with the H perm. You can recognize it by the solved corners, obviously, and the edges that are in the opposite places. So here it should be red, but it's orange, here should be green, but it's blue, and so on. For the execution, you can do it in two ways. Either U, U2, U, or U prime, U2, U prime. For the first one, do it like this. I use this one. Now faster. For the second one, you can do the U prime in two ways. Push with your right index or flick with your left one. These are the two executions for pushing with your right index and for flicking with your left index. Now faster. The Z perm. This is considered the worst of the edge-only group, but is still very easy to learn. So for recognition, you should look at two sides where the edges are swapped. So here. I will show you two algs with the second one being the better of the two. So first alg goes like this. Put the two sides with the edges swapped in front and on the left and do it like this. This isn't the best alg because it overworks your fingers, but it's the one I learned, so yeah. Now for the second one, you put the sides in front and on the right, and for the M moves, you push with your ring finger, so like this. Now faster. Now the UA perm. You can recognize it by the 3x1 bar that's on one of the sides and the 3 cycle of edges. For both of the U perms, you hold the bar in front, and for the UA perm, you have on the left an edge that's opposite to the color on the corners, so like this. For the execution, you start from home grip and do the first two U's with your right hand, and then at the end, drag the last U. Now faster. This is one of the fastest algs, even if it isn't that short, so yeah. Now, for the last PLL alg, we have the UB perm. You hold the cube with the big bar in front and the checker pattern on the right. So for the execution of the alg, you should start by regripping with your thumb on top. And for the last U move, you should push with your left index finger. Now faster. Okay, so these are the 21 PLLs, like, and yeah, bye.